Hello and welcome. This is Georgia. I'm here today to do a little reading for you. I haven't done this in a really long time and I kind of missed it, so I said let's sit down and do it today. So this is an oracle deck. It's the Oracle of the Seven Energies by Colette Baron-Reid. It's one of my favorites. I think it's really a great oracle to, if you have it, like a question or you want to pick a card every day to tell you what to face, what you're going to face. This is a good one. If you would like a private reading and a longer reading, you can check me out on my website, www.ravenhawktarot.com, and it'll tell you how to contact me and all the information. So let's get started. Now, you look at these 6 cards and pick one or more. You can pick more than one and listen to the video to see what it says about each card and see how that you can integrate that into your own life and where you're at now. Okay? So take a moment, pick a card, 1 through 6, and wait for the video. Okay, so card number 1 is the power of purpose. And I think that card indicates that maybe if you chose it, you need to focus your energy to where you want to be. You may be scattered, or you may not know your purpose. If you don't know your purpose in life, it's important to figure out how to find it, how to find out what you're doing and where you're going and who you are. You can do that through astrology. If you would like to book a consultation, you can find me on my website, www.ravenhawktarot.com. But it's important to have a purpose, and it's important to be focused on what that purpose is. A lot of us, myself included, tend to go off on many tangents and many different roads. I remember years and years ago when I was still working in the material world, I guess I'd call it. I got to a point one day where I had 3 different resumes for 3 different things, and I said to myself, no, this just doesn't work. I'm not 3 different things. Need to focus on one thing. And once I did, life started coming together. I think I was too scattered in too many directions. So I think it's important to figure out what your purpose is and to put your energy into it. Seeing your unique place in the world. You need to see who you are in the world, and that is very important. I also focus on, when I do astrology, on your soul's purpose. So what is the purpose? Why did your soul come here? This is a lot about past lives and karma and your soul going through evolution throughout the ages. And each lifetime presents an opportunity to learn something and to have a purpose and to find out what that purpose is. And I think that once you find that out, you're not just flailing around, trying different things. I did that for many years. It was difficult, but once I realized what I came here to do and what I wanted to do, life got a lot better, and it's like a big cloud lifted from my head. So this card number 1 is the power of purpose. Now, card number 2 is beyond the ordinary. Can you see that? Isn't she exquisite? She's just beautiful, that illustration, the woman. And you can see that she's just connected to the universe. And I think a lot of people that I come in contact with, a lot of the groups I belong to, are just beginning to see that there is something beyond the ordinary, that life just isn't about, um, going to work, coming home, and, making dinner, watching TV, going to bed. There's more to it. Then there's more to this world than just that material stuff. There's an entire universe. There's other dimensions. There's so much more than we're led to believe. It's in our society, we're led to believe that, unless it's scientifically proven with 15 studies and blind studies and blah, 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 that, and you can't see it in black and white, it doesn't exist. Well, how do we know there's air? We don't really. We can't see it, can't feel it. We definitely breathe it. But it's there, it exists, and we live on it. And there's just so much more than what we can touch, see, feel. It's what we start to use our third eye and our soul star chakra, the higher chakras, to connect with. And there's an entire world out there. And if you've chosen this card, you're being called to look beyond the ordinary, to look towards what isn't ordinary, what you can't see, touch, feel, but what exists, what we know in our hearts exists. And if you're, like on the fence about it, this card is calling on you to step into it, to do it. To wake up to what is beyond what we see. And a lot of you, I guess, are in that process at some point along the line. There's definitely levels and steps, and so maybe beyond that. But I think this is really kind of like for people who are new to spirituality and metaphysics and all that. It's like, things will start to happen once you look beyond the ordinary. You will be inundated with synchronicities. You will be, you may see spirits, you may see nature spirits and fairies, and there's all things that are just so beyond the ordinary, and it's just so stunning when you finally begin to see and understand them. So this is calling on you to look beyond the ordinary, to get on your path and to start doing the work. It's time. And maybe you're stuck on a plateau, and you get stuck in mundaneness. You get stuck in the everyday life, and working and relationships and all that. Take time to meditate. Take time to look beyond. Take time to connect with what is beyond the ordinary. So that's what this card is calling for. If you chose number 3, let's see, can you see that? It's called Willing Release. I think it's beautiful because it's got the dandelions, which, as you know, if you blow on them, all those seeds let go. And there's a butterfly, which indicates transformation. So this is a great card. So if you chose this card, it's time to release all the things that don't serve you anymore. You may be holding on to things from the past, or people from the past, or thought patterns from the past, or actual physical items from the past. A lot of us do that. We hold on to physical stuff like, little mementos and pictures and, letters and emails or whatever. But it's time to release that and to clear it all out. The card that comes in my mind is the Fool card in the Tarot, which is a card of someone just embarking on a journey. And he's young and he's standing on a cliff, and he's got a stick with a little bag on the end of it. It's his little backpack. It's very tiny. He has no baggage. He's gotten rid of his baggage, or he hasn't. Maybe he's too young to have accumulated a lot of it, although most of us do by a certain age. But anyway, he's about to take a leap off that cliff and try something new. But he's released all the stuff that held him back and held him down. And if you've picked this card, it's time to release all those things that no longer suit you, that no longer work for you. And like I said, that includes people. It includes places. It includes living quarters. It may include memories, and it may include physical items. So like the dandelion just blowing off those seeds, and they go to the wind, and you're left with the stalk, the center. You know, the accoutrements are gone. So this is a willing release is the card, and if you've chosen it, think about what you need to let go of. What is it time to let go of? Next card, card number 4. A grand symphony. Now, when I think of a symphony, I think of an orchestra. And there's all different types of instruments. There's the instruments that you blow into. There's the instruments that you that have strings, and you play the strings in some way. There's drums. There's percussion, instruments like the triangle and the drums, and things that you bang on, and then there's the piano, and there's just all sorts of different instruments in a symphony. And the thing about them is that they all play together. And if they all just started doing what they wanted to do and didn't talk to one another or pay attention to the conductor, they would just make a lot of noise. But when they get together and they play, they make beautiful music. So being part of the whole is the message of this card. So learning that we are all one, I think, is part of this card also. We are all connected on this planet and this universe. We're all connected. And understanding your part in all of this, and you're being called to understand your part in all of this. On a mundane level, it may be that, you're out of touch with family members or, former friends or whatever. And it's time to see how that works together, how you work together with family or friends, or, you're part of a grand symphony. And it may be time to realize that your group is not a grand symphony. You're not working out. And if that's your situation, maybe think about what kind of music do you play together? Do you play well together, or do you make a lot of noise? And if you make a lot of noise, it's maybe time to release that. And also about maybe working in a group. Maybe it's time for some of you to work in a group, to become a part of a group, and celebrating, the diversity in a group. And maybe it's time for humanity to start to understand how we could play a grand symphony if we didn't all work against each other. There's unity in diversity. And if you chose this card, you need to look at, who you're with, what you're doing together. Is it playing a beautiful symphony, or is it playing a lot of noise? Card number 5 is Time Machine. It looks like it's, you go through there and it's like a portal to the past or the future. I think if if you chose this card, maybe you need to do some past life work. You know, maybe some of the issues that you're confronted with are past life or ancestral. Many of us carry DNA from our, you know, we all carry DNA from our ancestors, but carry DNA from ancestors who had to navigate wars or, you know, poverty or hunger. And we carry this with us, you know. They're inherited patterns, conditioning, you know, cellular memory, and also past lives of our souls, past lives our souls have lived. So it's time to do some of that ancestral or past life work if you've chosen this card. You know, history will keep repeating itself if we don't, you know, heal some of these issues that keep us prisoners of our ancestors or of our past lives. So I think that this card, if you've chosen this, it's time to be aware of past life issues and ancestral issues. And, you know, it could be good stuff. Like I said that in my ancestral class, it's like, you know, not everything that we got from our ancestors is bad. Sometimes it's good stuff. You know, in my family, it's art talent. There's this little trickle of art talent that runs through a lot of my family members. I unfortunately did not get it, but many of my cousins and, you know, my father and his uncle, and they all had this amazing art talent. And, you know, we get good stuff from our ancestors, and we bring good karma from past lives. So, you know, it's just indicating a time to consider that in where you are and where you're going. And finally, card number 6 is the Rose's Kiss, which to me is gorgeous, gorgeous card. There's a ladybug on it, which is good luck, and there's this beautiful pink rose, and it just looks very ethereal. It's a very beautiful card. And that card is literally smelling the roses, taking time to smell the roses. You know, maybe you've been too in your head, or you've been too, you know, devoted to your work, which is not a bad thing, but if you're doing it 24/7, it can be very bad. You know, and this is sensory experiences. So needing to connect with the earth, to me, would be part of this. So getting grounded, you know, maybe you're not grounded enough. And how do you do that? Well, you do that by connecting with the earth, by going out and walking on the earth or the beach, by connecting with it and being mindful of it, that it's there, that your feet are connecting with it, you know, by walking around and literally smelling roses. You know, it's time to smell the roses. It deepens the spiritual experience. You know, the spiritual experience by a lot of people is in their heads. It's in their upper chakras. It's like, you know, meditation and journeys and all that. It's in your head. But this card is calling on you to connect with the sensual. You know, the smell of the roses, the earth when it rains, you know, that wonderful smell. Walking on a beach, like down here where I live in Florida, the beaches are granulated quartz crystals. And between that and the negative ions that are produced by the salt water, it is a very, very spiritual healing experience. And this card is asking you to put more of that in your life. No, it's time um, to experience those more sensual things. So if you've been too much in your head or too much in your work, take some time, you know. Take a bubble bath, you know. Connect with the earth, go to the beach, walk in the woods. It's time to get down to those lower chakras, you know, which are equally important. Your Earth Star chakra which is below your feet, that connects you to the center of the earth, is equally important to the soul star, which connects you to all that is, to the divine. You know, you have to stay grounded. You have to have all your chakras balanced. And many of us don't do that. We tend to neglect it when we're on a spiritual path, because we get so caught up in all the bells and whistles and, you know, synchronicities and wonderful things that happen to us, like books falling off the shelf and seeing repeating numbers and all that. But, you know, a lot of it is just getting back in touch with the earth. So that's our reading for today. There's 6 cards. I hope it's been helpful to you. If you have any questions, you're welcome to contact me. And on Facebook, you can contact me through the Messenger app. And or you can go to my website and see about my work, what I do. I'm an astrologer. I read tarot and oracle cards. I'm a Reiki master teacher. And my life, the second half of my life has been dedicated to helping people to heal and to connect back with the earth. So if you need any help in that direction, drop a line. And my website again is www.ravenhawktarot.com, and my Facebook is also under Ravenhawk. So Georgia Vallejos Ravenhawk, I believe it is. So anyway, I'd love to connect. Give me a holla. Have a great day.